Welcome to Sky Notes. In this special edition, Lillian and Tracy look at the astrology of Valentine's Day 2026. Whether you're going solo, hanging out with friends, or spending time with the significant others in your life, this is the energy of the day. Join us as we consult our Sky Notes. Since I learned astrology, I've always found it wild that Valentine's Day is during the Aquarius season because traditionally not the most romantic sign. Aquarius is much more about sharing ideas, talking, getting together with friends. It's a platonic energy for sure. So February 14th to me is a time to celebrate friends, to connect with people in that kind of a way.
Yeah.
As opposed to the romance. So the moon is always really important on Valentine's Day to tell us sort of how much romance there might be or not. And it's in Capricorn. And it's in Capricorn now. That's a very sober moon.
Yeah.
And I say that very literally because I know that whenever I would go out to an event and stay extremely sober, no matter how much I drank, the moon was in Capricorn.
Yeah.
There are other factors, of course, but it was just an interesting pattern. So this is doing things on a more practical level this Valentine's Day, whether you're on your own, with friends, with a partner, that's just going to feel better. Now, the ruler of that is with Neptune.
Yeah.
So that's nice because it does soften it up a little bit. But when I look at this and based on what you were talking about, that moon is exactly across from that Jupiter in Cancer.
I know.
So the nostalgia,
Yeah.
the wanting to go back and reminisce, I feel like that's probably the most potent energy of this chart, in my opinion. What do you think?
Oh, I love that. I love that assessment. I see that because there's going to be this tug of war there, or opposition, you don't find a balance necessarily. You find the topography of the land when they're opposing each other. So all of that excitement around the Jupiter will be met with that sober Capricorn, which could be challenging. I see that Venus approaching the North Node again, and that Venus Mercury, they're kind of.
So to me, that Venus with the North Node in between and the Mercury on the other side feels like over-promising.
Ooh.
It feels like sitting down and having these idealistic, romantic conversations of things that you're never going to make happen.
Well, and here's the thing, like there's with the Saturn and Neptune in the fifth. I don't know if Saturn in the fifth is overpromising, but Saturn in the fifth, I have that natally, and it's always been kind of not a wallflower, but somebody who wants to stay behind the scenes and organize fun versus being like ha-cha-cha. Mileage may vary, right? If you have a Leo ascendant, you may be totally happy to be visible. So anyway, I think about that at the 0 degree as this creation point and another tug of war with this, idealism versus what's possible, idealism versus what's possible, and not what's possible. I think a lot of people construe possibility with having less. And it's a shock to me because we don't need less, we need the right amount, which is ever variable. So it's not wrong that there's, a sense of figuring out, which I would ascribe to this, what's practical, what's aspirationally exciting. But it also said to me, you may feel that you want to have a sober Valentine's Day. Your friends may take you out for a big, kindly get down. You may be, swept up or whatever, and friends, partner, whatever, there may be a difference between what the two of you want to get from this day. But as we've talked about this, we're saying it's Valentine's Day, but we're big fans of Validation Day and Galentine's Day, and there's no hierarchy of value based on being in a relationship.
And I mean, but I'm going to say that my very first image that flew into my head when I started delineating this event chart, the first thing I thought of is I could see somebody getting swept up in a moment and proposing.
Oh boy.
And it not being the plan and maybe not actually being what the person wants. But all of a sudden, it was just so exciting and I want to be with you for the rest of my life and let's do it. And then the reality will come
I get
during the
that. I get
season, you
that.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Even
Um,
that Mars in Aquarius kind of revving up the sun, there's a lot of like energy there.
right, right. Well, now let's talk about that Mars in Aquarius because
Mhm.
one, like I was thinking probably a super fun thing to do would be a game night with Mars and Aquarius. With all that
Exactly.
Aquarius energy, play,
Yeah.
right? Use your mind to play.
Yeah.
So game night, some kind
Pub
of
night,
strategy game. Yeah, something
trivia.
that gets your mind activated. A little less in that Pisces dreamy and over into that Aquarius energy.
But you can do a dreamy dinner in a very full restaurant,
Absolutely.
and that would
Absolutely.
accomplish the goal. It's a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, I would just say, if there is romance in the air, or even with friends, like anything that gets discussed that's super exciting, just let it
Let it
sit.
air.
Yeah, yeah. Let it cook for a minute, and then you can revisit it and decide what's possible. Because
Okay.
this is very like sky's the limit kind of looking at the world. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah,
Well, and also I have to comment on that Uranus in the 7th because I love that that's, your partner may throw you for a loop. You're gonna be attending to your partner's freaky deaky kind of ways, not your own freaky deaky kind of ways. So,
that
right?
could also be your partner goes out with their friends and you go out with your friends.
Perfect. That's
You know?
perfect. Thank
And it's just
you.
last minute, you're like,
Yeah,
let's do separate," because that's the independence of Uranus, right?
that's
It's like,
really
"You know
nice.
what?
I
I
like
want
that.
Valentine's Day as some space." You
Yeah.
know, that could be what somebody is thinking with that particular placement there, and especially with like, I made a note here about Mars and Aquarius. Where is it? Oh my god. I make myself laugh sometimes with my notes. Mars is also in Aquarius, less sexy, more intellectual debate and strategizing.
Right,
Was my final note about the Valentine's chart.
right. Yeah, maybe doesn't wanna touch a lot, maybe not a lot of touchy-feely kind of thing.
Maybe.
A little more
Maybe
distance.
the dissociation of maybe some role playing
Sure.
might because
I
that
mean,
detachment from reality is
there's so
very
much in here. You could have the greatest night of your life on your own. There's plenty of vibe for that. You can do whatever stuff you like to indulge in. There's stuff for that. It's just whatever container, if you make notes after that or you come up with your genius ideas, write them down and put them away. Don't do anything.
no, just say revisit them.
Yeah,
Revisit them when eclipses season is
that's
over
right.
and see what sticks for sure.
Exactly.
You could
Exactly.
also just look at this chart and go, "I think I'm just gonna clean out a closet." That's good too.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Definitely.
mean,
But yeah,
some
this
fun. I like that over-promising to oneself, I don't know, that to me turns out to be putting on, like, a streaming service and not liking any of the movies.
yeah. Well, this to me speaks to feeling like binging something and not being able to find anything that hits the right note,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah,
or picking something and it not living up to what you were hoping for it to
right.
be, like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, it's just stick with that Capricorn moon, stay realistic with your expectations of
There you
everything.
go. Yeah,
Yep, yep,
yeah. Get your feet
and
on the
it'll
ground.
be yeah, because
Yeah.
that Venus-Mercury North node could be a bit tricky.
Isn't that
Mercury's moving
something?
into trine Jupiter, right? So there's some extra optimism building.
And
Yeah,
energy, right? I mean, the
yeah,
Mars and the
mhm,
Mercury coming up to that Jupiter getting riled is gonna have an effect.
mhm, and the
Yeah.
sun is square Uranus, so there's
Yep.
gonna be some surprises for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and the thing too, because the Jupiter in here is retrograde
Mhm.
still, that's the other marker to consider is that until March 10th, when it goes direct,
Yeah.
anything you dream up now isn't really going to get moving till Jupiter starts moving, unless you have Jupiter retrograde in your natal chart, which even
Right.
still then it might be a little bit
I
delayed. But
mean, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it's just something like this is not astrology that's gonna, something's gonna take off and fly and it's
That's right.
exciting and it's gonna go flawlessly.
Yeah.
There's gonna need be some
There
adjustment.
could be some intimacy, right? That Scorpio rising, That's
Mhm.
pretty nice. That could be a two-person container or a less than many person
Mhm.
container.
But you know what I just didn't even think about? All that stuff, that Venus stuff is down in the 4th house, so that's a lot of
Right.
people staying home, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's having people to your house or, hanging out at home for sure.
Yeah.
None of the energy in any of this is very public,
Right.
right? Like
I agree.
some of the stuff with the Saturn and the Neptune is, but it seems quite detached from everything else that's going on.
It's so new. It's so new. I just don't know that we would see it, you know what I mean? Or feel
Right,
it that much.
right, right.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Well, we're
don't
in
have any plans at the moment for
I don't
Valentine's
either.
Day. We have to do this stuff every day, you know what I mean? I love you and
Yeah,
I like
that's just
you.
it, yeah.
If you're going away, please come home safe if you can, you know.
Exactly.